Floyd Mayweather just fired off a serious warning to Charleston White, telling him to stay out of this Big Meech drama or face some real consequences. But Charleston, he ain't the type to back down. He's standing 10 toes down, refusing to apologize for speaking his mind. Ever since he got out of jail, he's been running interviews left and right, and in one of them, he dropped his unfiltered take on the whole Big Meech and 50 Cent situation.
You know what's crazy? People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody fucking with me. If I go on vacation, my fault.
Now, Charleston did admit there ain't a shred of proof that Big Meech ever snitched on anybody, but he also doubled down, saying 50 Cent had every reason to be mad because Big Meech and his son linked up with his enemies, and one of those so-called ops, none other than Floyd Mayweather himself. And let's just say Floyd ain't feeling Charleston's mouthpiece one bit. Word on the street is, if he ever crosses paths with Charleston, it's on sight. No warnings, no discussions, just straight action. But hold up, does Floyd really care about helping Big Meech and his family bounce back? Or is this just another way to stir the pot and mess with 50 Cent? Stick around, because we're breaking this down from every angle.
You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position. Either for you to go Rick Ross, that's a slap in the face.
At this point, the Big Meech drama is dragging everybody into the fire, and Floyd Mayweather and Charleston White are the latest names caught in the storm. And trust me, this is getting ugly. Charleston just dropped some wild revelations in a recent interview about the never-ending beef between Big Meech, Lil Meech, and 50 Cent, and what he said, straight up shocking. First off, he made it clear he doesn't buy into 50 Cent's claims that Big Meech is a snitch, because where's the paperwork? Until someone pulls out hard proof, he's not rocking with that narrative.
You do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told, or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowan's to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech.
And as for those saying Big Meech used Tammy Cowan to set up Cuffy and others, Charleston shut that down quick. He said people need to stop running with baseless rumors and actually do their homework before throwing out accusations. Charleston White didn't hold back. He straight up sided with 50 Cent and put Big Meech and Lil Meech on blast. He said he doesn't blame 50 one bit for snapping the way he did, because when nobody else was rocking with him, not even Rick Ross, 50 was the one holding it down. Let's not forget, 50 took Lil Meech under his wing, cleaned him up, sent him to acting school on his dime, and then put him in a hit TV series that made him millions, all while Big Meech was locked up. That ain't just business, that's real loyalty. According to Charleston, 50 basically became a father figure to Lil Meech. So imagine doing all that for someone, only for them to turn around and link up with your enemies. Charleston called it a straight-up betrayal. And when Big Meech aligned himself with Rick Ross, that was the ultimate slap in the face. Charleston even said Big Meech and his son deserve whatever 50 throws their way as payback.
About you and Rick Ross.
That is desperation at the points that you hear things from him at this point. You know, because if you're looking for someone, it ain't that hard to find me. You know, I'm around. And I'm not used to having an altercation with law enforcement. I'm just not used to saying I'm gonna do something to a correctional officer.
Now, let's rewind. This whole mess started because Big Meech supposedly linked up with Rick Ross to secure some quick cash after getting out of prison. But here's the real kicker. None of this would have gone down if Lil Meech hadn't blown through all the money 50 put in his pockets. Yeah, you heard that right. So when 50 saw Big Meech dealing with Rick Ross behind his back, he took that as pure disrespect, and that's when he dropped the bomb, calling Big Meech a snitch. That move shook the internet, but behind the scenes, Lil Meech was scrambling to smooth things over.
Let this be a perfect example and you gotta be very careful on who you bring in and who you put on. That's Little Meech right there. And if you don't know, he's the son of Big Meech. And if you don't know who that is, well, Big Meech was one of the biggest drug dealers in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, long story short, he went in jail.
Lil Meech slid into 50's DMs, trying to explain his father's actions, practically pleading his case. He hit 50 with, "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you managing Skill Abba when I was the one who first brought him to you. Now you mad at me? Bruh, I would take the shirt off my back for you. I've only ever shown you love and loyalty, and now you treating me like the enemy? I can't believe this, man. I'm human. I go through my own struggles, but I never switched up on you." Lil Meech tried to explain himself, saying, "But he gave my dad some bread so he could pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet stuff is throwing me off, man. You know me." It was clear he was trying to smooth things over and get back in 50's good graces, but 50, he wasn't buying any of it. Instead of letting it slide, he hit them where it hurt, announcing that he was canceling the BMF series.
From 50 position, I go get your son. And at the time when I meet your son, he's not making the best decisions in life. You know, they say the nigga was strung out on them perks. And they like to pop them perks. 50 take him somewhat, I wouldn't say clean him up, but spend 2 years in acting class.
That move was ruthless. It wasn't just a clapback, it was a financial nuke. No BMF, no more steady checks for Lil Meech. The internet went crazy over it. Some people felt like Lil Meech was doing the right thing by apologizing, while others thought he should have stood tall and checked 50 for disrespecting his father. And Boosie? Oh, he had a lot to say about this. But let's be real, 50 cutting off Lil Meech is a massive hit to his career. 50 was the one who put him in position, and without him, things are looking shaky. You'd think Big Meech and Lil Meech would at least try to reach out, have a conversation, and work something out to keep the show alive, right? Wrong. Instead of mending fences, they doubled down on the drama. Lil Meech started linking up with more of 50's enemies, especially Floyd Mayweather. And not just once or twice, this wasn't by accident. Lil Meech has been spotted kicking it with Floyd multiple times, and the photos don't lie. Big Meech and Lil Meech have been flaunting their new alliances hard, posting up with Floyd and Rick Ross over the past few weeks. And just to make sure 50 got the message, Lil Meech even posted pics of them chilling at Lucky Strike Bowling Alley in Miami, captioning it "Real Power." Now let's be real, that sounded like a direct shot at 50.
I was like, damn, you know, like, seemed like him and 50 got a, you know, because after that thing came out, how Meech was talking all, you know, like, no, oh, y'all, I'm with my dead, but you know.
And it didn't stop there. Lil Meech later dropped another post featuring himself, his father, and Floyd at an undisclosed location, followed by a video of him and Floyd courtside at a Lakers game looking real cozy. With all this beef brewing between them and 50, nobody is believing this was just a coincidence. This was a statement, and they wanted 50 to see it loud and clear. Everybody knows 50 Cent and Rick Ross have been sworn enemies for years. The beef kicked off over something as petty as a look. Yep, Ross claimed 50 gave him a dirty stare on stage, and from that moment on, it was war. No peace talks, no truces, just straight up disses in music, interviews, and anywhere else they could take shots at each other. 50 has never let Ross live down his Officer Ricky days. He's made it his mission to remind the world that Ross used to be a correctional officer before he started rapping about the streets. He straight up called Ross a fraud in a 2015 interview with Tim Westwood, making it clear that he sees him as nothing more than a guy playing dress-up in the gangster world. And in another interview, 50 didn't hold back. He called Ross irrelevant and said he has zero respect for his career. And Ross? Oh, he can't stand 50 either. He's called him out multiple times, making it clear that he sees 50 as nothing but a loudmouth who likes to bully people. But as much as we get why 50 and Ross can't stand each other, the real shocker is the fallout between 50 and Floyd Mayweather. These two were once as close as brothers, but now it's straight up war.
He came out of jail and he started linking up with 50 Cent's ops. Now bear in mind, 50 Cent made BMF and put Little Meech on BMF without any acting skills.
Floyd and 50's beef is hands down one of the messiest dramas 50 has ever been involved in. And that's saying something, because 50 does not take his feuds lightly. These two used to be inseparable, rolling together, making business moves, even landing on the cover of XXL magazine as a power duo. They had real loyalty until 2012, when everything changed. That year, Floyd got locked up for a few months on a domestic violence charge, and while he was behind bars, he trusted 50 to hold things down. Floyd personally asked him to manage his companies, TMT, the Money Team, Mayweather Promotions, and his entire boxing empire. 50 agreed, thinking it would be smooth sailing, but he quickly realized he was in way deeper than he expected. Turns out, Floyd's businesses weren't even properly registered, so instead of just managing things, 50 had to build everything from the ground up, and that was the beginning of the end for their friendship. After pouring $1 million of his own money into fixing Floyd Mayweather's business mess, 50 Cent expected Floyd to at least match his investment or pay him back. But when Floyd walked out of jail, he flipped the script. Not only did he refuse to return the money, but he started accusing 50 of trying to take over his company. While Floyd was out here running a full-blown smear campaign against 50, others were actually trying to get his money right again. They even launched a Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign, basically a fundraiser just like the one Rick Ross wanted to set up for Big Meech. The irony is insane. And y'all already know 50 Cent does not play about loyalty. He wasn't about to let Floyd spread lies about him and get away with it. But when 50 finally clapped back, the tables turned, and suddenly he was looking like the bad guy.
Floyd went all in, calling 50 a male boxing groupie with a failed music career. At first, they told the media they squashed the beef and were back on good terms. But that truce, yeah, it didn't last. Things got even uglier. Floyd took it real personal, throwing shots at 50's rocky relationship with his son Marquise. And 50? He hit back hard, exposing Floyd for allegedly sleeping with his best friend's woman. Then 50 took it to the next level, bringing up one of the most chilling moments in Floyd's past. He straight up accused Floyd of being involved in the tragic deaths of Earl Hayes and his wife Stephanie Mosley. 50 even said, "Tell everybody why you was on FaceTime when he did what he did, because he was confronting you about messing with his wife." But 50 wasn't done. He went straight for Floyd's biggest insecurity. He challenged Floyd to read a page of Harry Potter, promising to donate $750,000 to any charity of his choice if he could do it. Floyd clapped back by flexing $72 million worth of checks, basically telling 50, "I don't need to prove nothing, I'm rich." But let's be real, no amount of money could erase those illiterate jokes. They stuck. The hype around a 50 Cent versus Floyd Mayweather fight had fans buzzing back in 2014, but of course, it never happened. Fast forward to 2018, and Floyd decided to get real petty. He pulled a slick move by inviting Tierra Mari, who was in the middle of suing 50 over a revenge tape, to perform at his nightclub. That was the final straw. Any ounce of friendship they had left was completely wiped out. Floyd took it to the next level, airing 50 out on an open letter on Instagram, and he did not hold back. He called 50 a snitch, dragged his music career, and went for the jugular, clowning him for his broken relationship with his son. Floyd basically painted 50 as a bitter, washed-up hater who couldn't stand to see other people win. And after that, there was no coming back from this. The beef was permanently set in stone. So when Big Meech and Little Meech started hanging out with Floyd, you already know 50 was fuming. And never one to let things slide, he wasted no time firing back. 50 went straight to IG, posting a video of Little Meech chopping it up with Rick Ross, and threw shade by joking that Ross was probably planning to send Big Meech some free chicken wings from his fast food chain. But that wasn't all. 50 went for the acting skills comparison too. In another post, he stacked Little Meech up against Michael Rainey Jr., the breakout star of Power Book 2 Ghost. And guess what? Michael had just won an NAACP award for his performance, so 50 made sure to rub it in hard. He basically hinted that Little Meech was mid-tier at best, while Michael was out here collecting trophies. And then, to top it all off, 50 dropped an AI-edited video where he took shots at Little Meech, making it seem like he was on a crash course to follow in his father's footsteps. Now, at first glance, it might seem like 50 is going too hard on Little Meech, who wasn't even involved in his father's alleged snitching. But why is he coming at him with so much energy? Well, 50 finally explained himself when Boosie called him out for taking out his frustrations on Little Meech. 50 simply put it like this: I did more for Meech than anyone in his life, and in his mind, that level of disrespect can't just be ignored. Boosie pressed 50 about why he was going so hard on Little Meech, and 50 made it crystal clear. This wasn't just about loyalty, it was personal. 50 clapped back saying, "That's why I responded like that. If he gets locked up, I'm the first person he calls. I bailed him out every time. But when I saw him laughing at his pop's post, I knew right then, oh, he is Snake too. He belonged right there with him." And that was just the start. 50 went even deeper, revealing how much he had actually done for Little Meech behind the scenes. He wasn't just giving him a TV career, he was saving him from himself. He said, "I put him in rehab. I gave him advice on how to manage his money. I thought about it and realized he was uncomfortable with me and Meech's relationship. I was telling Meech what not to do, but his pops, he over there bragging about how much he blew." Then 50 dropped the real bomb. Russell Hornsby, Meech's co-star on BMF, had noticed Little Meech was high as hell on set. He said he was throwing up during a weapons test. Then Ian told me this little ninja had whippets in his truck. I was like, what? The F is whippets? I looked it up. It's that gas they use in BB guns. At this point, 50 wasn't just mad about Little Meech hanging with his enemies. He felt disrespected after doing so much for him and his family. The least they could do was not publicly embarrass him by cozying up to the same people who've been trying to tear him down, and then plastering the photos all over social media. Charleston White even weighed in on the mess, saying Big Meech's biggest mistake was posting that video of him and Rick Ross and then turning around to deny the snitch allegations on camera. That was a bad move. Even if there was the slightest chance for 50 to let the Rick Ross situation slide and keep the BMF series alive, Big Meech and Little Meech killed it by linking up with Floyd Mayweather. And as for Floyd, oh, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's fully aware of the bad blood between Big Meech and 50, but instead of staying out of it, he's playing chess, using Meech and his son as pawns in his own war against 50. And from the looks of it, Floyd is so dead set on getting revenge that he's ready to crush anyone in his way, even Charleston White. Word on the street is Floyd is working behind the scenes to get Charleston White arrested and sent back to jail, which is insane if true. The level of petty in this beef is on another level. But here's the real question. Do y'all think Floyd is actually trying to help Big Meech and Little Meech, or is this just another calculated move to get under 50's skin and keep this drama going? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this wild situation. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. See you in the next one.